My name's Dillon Forte. I've been tattooing for about 20 years. What is the flower of life? The flower of life symbol is made of 21 circles interlocked in an array that represents a flower. It looks similar to a grid or a net. Some people see it in their psychedelic experiences as the net of being or the net of Indra. It's found globally from civilizations such as Egypt, Syria, Sumeria, Italy, Ireland, Peru. I mean, it's found globally. Japan, China, everywhere that humans have been, the flower of life follows in their footsteps. We don't know the official origin. The oldest one I've seen is a Sumerian pushed into a clay tablet. Besides that, the famous one inscribed on a wall in Egypt, in Abydos. Now, for me, traveling around the world and seeing this symbol everywhere creates a sense of unity and a holistic kind of grasp on Earth. The flower of life is essentially a seed or origin symbol. I actually got one of these flower of lives tattooed on myself when I was probably about 18 in Eureka, California. And I remember going from shop to shop, asking them if they would be interested in doing it, or if they knew what it was. And there wasn't really much interest at the time, even in a place like Eureka, California, which actually had a really difficult time getting someone to do the tattoo. I mean, this was like 20 years ago. I actually got turned down by 5 or 6 shops that just didn't want to touch it. They were like, oh, the concentric circles within circles within circles. I don't want anything to do with it, So that, I guess, was sort of one of the earliest impetuses for, hey, maybe I should try to do this. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to. And the way I saw it was a little differently. I would see the individual shape, which is actually called a Vesica Pisces. That's almost like eyeball shape. Well, I thought, you could just kind of just focus on those parts instead of thinking about them as concentric circles. And I was like, oh, that might be easier or whatever. So I initially just was always inspired by geometry and had a draw towards it. And then once I got tattooed myself with those kind of symbols and patterns, I feel like it just sort of unlocked something, and then that was really all I wanted to do. That tattoo really probably started my journey into sacred geometry, tattoos. My name's Dillon Forte. I've been tattooing for about 20 years. I first started tattooing approximately 2005 or so. I got an apprenticeship in Berkeley, California. At that time, I was really just happy to do any tattoo that walked in the door. It wasn't really so much focused on a specific style. It was more just the ability to tattoo. As that developed and kind of evolved, there'd be more and more requests for stuff that I was truly passionate about. One of those is sacred geometry. What is sacred geometry is a question I get asked quite frequently. I would say that the original connotation sacred is derived from the fact that throughout time, ancient architecture has utilized the specific mathematical principles of nature in building their temples, mosques, cathedrals, all structures that are deemed holy or to accelerate a sense of awe or inspire a sense of awe. It goes a lot deeper than that, and I would say that predominantly sacred geometry is the mathematics of the human body. It's how Fibonacci or phi ratios are found throughout all nature, through the way plants grow towards light, to the way Venus' orbit creates a perfect cherry blossom 5-fold flower. All throughout nature, there isn't really anything except sacred geometry. Geometry literally just means to measure, or to measure geo or earth. So it is the act of measurement is what geometry is. So that would be probably the simplest way to explain the subject entirely. After getting the flower of life tattooed on me, that really helped cement my passion and desire for putting sacred geometry on people. And I believe there's just something really powerful about that. The world's oldest tattoos arguably could be considered sacred geometry tattoos. Otzi the Iceman, found over 5,000 years ago on the Austrian-Italian Alps, had 61 specific I Ching symbols on his acupuncture points. Now, those are symbolic black line and dot tattoos found over his whole body were the first tattoos ever found. Through the past decade, geometric tattooing has exploded as a global phenomenon. Prior to that, it was more underground fringe style, found predominantly London, Thailand, America, but it was hard to find someone who specialized in this. Yeah, fast forward 20 years and it's a blossoming creative outlet, and it's one of the probably fastest growing styles that exists. Sacred geometry is literally everything. It's through the cosmos, the macrocosm to the microcosm. It's the cell division, it's the atomic structure, the way a nautilus shell spirals, it's growth as a whole. It's how we all move throughout this world. It's the best summary of reality that we have. So with that being said, I'm obviously very inspired by this topic, and I felt like it was an important time to mention some of my favorite or top artists who are also it's like a huge inspiration, let alone been doing this for forever. Thomas Hooper, John Dix, Mechmaster Mike Cole, Adrian Lee, to name a few. I mean, some of the top people on earth who have been doing this for a very long time, who are super talented. We have a full list of like 50 people, maybe 30 to start, I don't know, on COCREATE that we've compiled just as an aid to help people find artists that they might be inspired by or like fascinated by their work. Go check that out on COCREATE.